Deep in the heart of a dense forest, where ancient trees intertwined their gnarled limbs to form a canopy that blocked out the sunlight, there lurked a terror known only as the Maniac of Whispering Pines. Legends whispered of his presence, carried on the eerie wind that sighed through the twisted branches like the breath of some malevolent spirit. It was said that the Maniac was once a woodsman, driven mad by the isolation of the forest and the horrors he had witnessed within its depths. Some claimed he had encountered a supernatural entity that had shattered his mind, while others believed he had stumbled upon a hidden cult that practiced dark rituals under the cover of night. Whatever the truth, none who ventured too deep into Whispering Pines ever returned to tell the tale. Among the locals, there were whispers of missing persons and strange occurrences. A flicker of movement at the corner of the eye, eerie laughter echoing through the trees, and the inexplicable sensation of being watched. Old-timers warned the young to steer clear of the forest, lest they fall victim to the Maniac's madness. One fateful autumn evening, a group of adventurous teenagers decided to defy the warnings. Drawn by the thrill of the forbidden and egged on by bravado, they ventured into Whispering Pines armed with flashlights and nervous laughter. The forest welcomed them with a chilling stillness, broken only by the rustle of leaves underfoot and the distant hoot of an owl. As they ventured deeper, the atmosphere grew increasingly oppressive. Shadows seemed to dance at the edge of their vision, and strange shapes loomed amidst the trees. Unease crept through the group like a contagion, but they pressed on, driven by a mixture of fear and curiosity. It was past midnight when they stumbled upon an abandoned cabin, its timbers weathered and its windows shattered. Inside, the air was thick with dust and decay, and the floorboards creaked ominously beneath their feet. The walls were adorned with crude symbols and faded paintings depicting scenes of unspeakable horror, a testament to the darkness that had claimed this place. Suddenly, a piercing scream shattered the silence, echoing through the forest like a primal cry of terror. The teenagers froze in horror, their flashlights trembling as they scanned the shadows for the source of the sound. Then, from the darkness emerged a figure, a twisted silhouette with wild eyes and a wicked grin. The Maniac of Whispering Pines stood before them, clad in tattered clothes and wielding a rusted axe stained with old blood. His laughter was a chilling cacophony that reverberated through their bones, freezing them in place with sheer terror. In that moment, they realized the legends were true. They had stumbled upon the domain of madness itself. With a primal roar, the Maniac lunged forward, swinging his axe with unnatural strength. Chaos erupted as the teenagers scattered, their screams mingling with the manic laughter of their assailant. One by one, they fell prey to his relentless fury, their desperate cries fading into the night. Those who survived spoke of a relentless pursuit through the labyrinthine depths of Whispering Pines, the sensation of being hunted by something ancient and malevolent, driven by an insatiable hunger for blood. Some were found days later, wandering dazed and haunted by nightmares that refused to fade. Others were never seen again, lost to the forest's insatiable hunger. And so, the legend of the Maniac of Whispering Pines grew, a cautionary tale whispered around campfires and passed down through generations. The forest remained a forbidden realm, its secrets guarded by shadows and the chilling laughter that echoed through its haunted depths, a grim reminder of the darkness that lurks within us all. Years passed, and the tale of the Maniac of Whispering Pines became more than just a local legend. It became a chilling reality etched into the collective memory of the nearby town. Despite warnings and attempts by authorities to cordon off the forest, curious souls and thrill seekers still occasionally ventured into its depths, drawn by morbid fascination or the lure of an adrenaline rush. Among those who dared was a group of college students, led by Alex, a bold and adventurous young man who scoffed at the superstitions that had held sway over the town for decades. Determined to prove the existence of the Maniac or debunk the myth once and for all, he gathered a small team of friends one crisp autumn afternoon. The air was crisp, the leaves crunching beneath their boots as they ventured deeper into Whispering Pines. Alex led the way confidently, armed with a map he claimed had been meticulously researched from old town archives and eyewitness accounts. His friends followed nervously, casting wary glances at the dense underbrush and the ancient trees that seemed to whisper secrets to each other. As dusk settled, casting long shadows that danced like specters among the trees, the group stumbled upon the remnants of an old campsite. Charred remains of a fire pit lay scattered amidst discarded cans and tattered clothing, a grim reminder that others had ventured here before and never returned. "This is it," Alex declared triumphantly, his voice tinged with excitement. "This is where the Maniac was last sighted. If we stay here tonight, we might finally uncover the truth." His friends exchanged uneasy glances, but none dared to voice their fears aloud. Reluctantly, they set about pitching tents and gathering firewood, the crackling flames providing a fragile sense of security against the encroaching darkness. As night deepened, an eerie silence descended upon Whispering Pines, broken only by the occasional hoot of an owl or the rustle of leaves in the wind. Tension hung heavy in the air, each flicker of movement and distant sound amplified into ominous portents by their overactive imaginations. Suddenly, a faint sound carried on the wind, a low, haunting melody that seemed to emanate from nowhere and everywhere at once. It was a mournful tune, punctuated by eerie whispers that sent shivers down their spines. Alex's bravado wavered for the first time, his expression tense as he scanned the darkness for signs of movement. Then, from the shadows emerged a figure, a hulking silhouette with wild, unkempt hair and a tattered cloak that fluttered in the night breeze. The Maniac of Whispering Pines stood before them, his eyes gleaming with a madness that chilled their very souls. In his hand, he clutched a makeshift staff adorned with feathers and bones, a grotesque totem of his twisted existence. Alex's voice caught in his throat, the bravado draining from him as he stared into the abyss of the Maniac's gaze. His friends huddled close together, their breaths coming in shallow gasps as they backed away slowly, their minds racing with thoughts of escape. But the Maniac did not move to attack. Instead, he began to sing, a haunting melody that resonated with sorrow and longing. His voice was ragged and raw, carrying a lament for lost innocence and fractured sanity. Against their better judgment, the group found themselves drawn in by the strange, hypnotic cadence of his song. As the night wore on, boundaries blurred between fear and fascination. The Maniac song became a surreal backdrop to their shared unease, weaving a tapestry of despair and primal longing that transcended language and reason. Gradually, they began to see him not as a monster, but as a tragic figure, a soul lost to the relentless embrace of Whispering Pines.